It's extraordinary how the Sasquatch Festival is different every year. Granted, there's always new bands playing and the weather is never exactly the same, but even after photographing the festival for 7 years, yes, 7 years now, there's always something new to experience. 2016 was my year. I was finally there as an editor, so the press room was my domain. There were no distractions, only me. I was armed with a new toy and a new title, so I felt pretty damn cool. After last year's foray into premiere camping, I wasn't about to lose out on all those perks, so I thankfully managed to get a premiere pass with all the wonderful, clean-ish bathrooms, free showers, and larger campsites. I had my own little baby tent to myself. Again, another first for me. It did stay much warmer at night, though. And then the festival began. I love running around Sasquatch with the photographers. We're family at this point. We look out for each other, whether it's giving someone the good spot in the pit during a performance, or saving an outlet on one of a dozen surge protectors hanging from the ceiling in the press lounge. This was also the first festival I've attended since joining the band in Seattle team. So not only did I get to see a ton of the show's alumni play, but I ran into enough of them to count on at least 2 hands. Again, I felt pretty rad. I managed to put Band in Seattle stickers on my power cord, my camera battery charger, my phone charger, and my camera bag. It was partially branding and partially me trying to keep all my equipment from getting confused as somebody else's. That's clever, right? 2016 was different in so many ways. I was there covering the festival for a whole new outlet, and I was entirely in charge of posting things while on the ground. I had a new camera, my dear Marty the Mark III. I wasn't joined by the gaggle of guys I camped with last year, so I could roam free, not worrying that one of them might stumble into the woods high on mushrooms. I was focused, I was alert, I was professional as fuck. I read something earlier this year after the lineup was announced that this was the highest number of women on any music festival lineup ever. And it could not have been more evident. Not only were huge acts on the main stage with badass women like Florence and the Machine, Grimes, and Alabama Shakes, but local women shined brighter than anyone else. Grace Love and the True Loves opened the whole festival Friday afternoon. Childbirth brought the most feminist punk music you could ever imagine. There was actually a song off their EP, Women's Rights, called More Fertile Than You. I'm not kidding. Thunder Pussy rocked and writhed around the main stage on Monday afternoon, and Taco Cat was supposed to play the main stage, but the weather thought otherwise. Speaking of the weather, what the hell was up with that? Sunday night, I asked a friend of mine, who was your favorite band of the day? And he goes, oh, Wind Delay killed it. They played for 8 hours and they were so awesome that other bands canceled to keep letting them play. That's right, the damn wind delayed the main stage for 8 hours on Sunday. 2 bands had to be moved to other stages and 3 had to cancel, including my dear Frightened Rabbit. Thankfully, they still did a signing at the Easy Street booth, so I got to meet them and take a photo. Or 12. Thanks, Hannah. The 45-mile-an-hour winds finally died down just in time for Alabama Shakes to take the stage, and then The Cure. People were honestly running around all day freaking out, contemplating what might happen if The Cure couldn't play. It would have been a really passive riot. Just a sad, passive-aggressive riot with lots of crying. Crying and sighing. But that didn't happen. Thank God. My sister sadly wasn't able to join me this year, which also made the festival feel different. While last year she wasn't camping with me, she was still there and I got to see her every day. This year it was me and Hannah, my protege, or Mini-Me as I like to call her. Hannah has been doing Sasquatch for about half as long as I have, and she started when she was in high school. I started shooting shows not long after my 20th birthday, and my first Sasquatch within a year of that, and even then I felt young and naive and inexperienced. Seeing people like Hannah excelling this early on into their career makes me hopeful for the generation of photographers just getting their footing now. So for those of you out there wondering whether or not you can do this, you can. Just start now. Take photos every day and don't stop. But there was one more thing that made this year different. For the last several years, Sasquatch has been the ultimate escape. Whether it was an escape from the hell that is working retail in the summertime, or an escape from a roommate that may or may not have wanted to kill me in my sleep. It's always been something that I never wanted to come home from. And while Sasquatch still is something that I will always look forward to every single spring, this year I actually had something wonderful waiting for me when I got home. Or rather, someone wonderful. And that's a really good feeling.